Ravi found the apartment on a whim, a bright, airy space in a bustling Mumbai neighborhood. The rent was a steal. The landlord, a harried man with kind eyes, seemed eager to lease it. He mentioned the previous tenant had left rather abruptly. "Just vanished one day," he said, a hint of sadness in his voice. Ravi, caught up in the excitement of finding his own place, didn't dwell on it. This was his chance for a fresh start, a place to build his dreams. The first few weeks were blissful. Ravi settled into a routine. He explored the neighborhood, savoring the street food and the vibrant city life. The apartment, with its high ceilings and large windows, became his sanctuary. He felt happy, settled, finally home. One night, however, a chill ran down his spine. The phone rang, jarring him from his sleep. He glanced at the clock. 3:15 a.m. "Wrong number," he mumbled, hanging up. He tried to shake off the strange unease that had gripped him. It was probably just a prank call, he thought. He drifted back to sleep, unaware of the nightmare that awaited him. The phone rang again the next night, 3:15 a.m., the same silent call. Ravi sat up in bed, heart pounding. An icy dread crept into his bones. This was no ordinary prank call. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. Night after night, the phone rang at the stroke of 3:15 a.m. The same chilling silence greeted him. Ravi's sleep became troubled, haunted by nightmares. The once welcoming apartment now felt oppressive, the air thick with an unseen menace. He was living a horror movie. Each ring of the phone was a nail hammered into his coffin of sanity. Ravi tried everything to stop the calls. He unplugged the phone at night, useless. The ringing continued, echoing in the dead of night. He contacted the telephone company. They found no fault, no explanation for the phantom calls. Fear became his constant companion. It lurked in the shadows of his apartment, whispering in the dead of night. Desperate for answers, Ravi decided to take matters into his own hands. He would trace the calls, unmask the phantom voice that haunted his nights. He contacted an old friend, a technician at the telephone exchange. The friend, skeptical at first, agreed to help. They waited, huddled over the buzzing equipment in the dimly lit exchange room. The clock ticked past midnight. 3:14 a.m. The phone rang. Ravi watched, his breath catching in his throat as his friend traced the call. The line went dead. "I'm sorry, Ravi," his friend said, shaking his head. "The call, it's coming from inside your apartment." The revelation that the calls were coming from inside his own apartment sent a fresh wave of terror crashing over Ravi. He was truly alone, trapped with an unknown entity. The phone calls continued, each ring a hammer blow to his sanity. Then came the knocking. At first, it was faint, almost imperceptible, a soft rapping on his apartment door. It always started after the phone calls ended. 3 sharp knocks, then silence. Ravi would sit frozen in his bed, listening to the silence that followed, waiting. He knew with bone-chilling certainty that whatever was on the other side of that door was pure evil. The fear was a living thing now. It clung to Ravi, suffocating him. He was a shadow of his former self, his eyes haunted, his face etched with fear. One evening, after a particularly harrowing night of calls and knocks, Ravi discovered something new. Footprints. A fine layer of dust covered his balcony floor. It hadn't rained in weeks. Yet there they were. Footprints. Small, muddy footprints leading from the edge of the balcony railing towards his living room. But his balcony was on the 3rd floor. There was no way anyone could have gotten in or out that way. Driven to the brink, Ravi sought solace in the wisdom of age. He confided in his elderly neighbor, Mrs. D'Souza, a kindly woman with a sharp mind and a keen eye. She listened patiently as he recounted the horrors that plagued him. When he finished, Mrs. D'Souza's face creased with concern. "The previous tenant," she whispered, her voice trembling. "He died in that apartment. A fall from the balcony. They said it was suicide." Ravi felt a chill run down his spine. The phone calls, the knocks, the footprints, it all made sense now. He was living with the restless spirit of the dead man. Ravi didn't wait for another night. Gathering his belongings in a frenzy, he fled the apartment. The terror he felt was palpable, an icy hand gripping his heart. He left behind most of his possessions, unwilling to spend another minute in that cursed place. He found a cheap hotel room on the other side of the city, seeking refuge in the anonymity of the crowd. Exhausted, he collapsed on the bed, his mind still replaying the horrors of the haunted apartment. Sleep, however, offered no escape. The phone in the hotel room rang, 3:15 a.m. The same chilling silence greeted him. Ravi's blood ran cold. The dead man had followed him. The apartment stood empty for months. Dust gathered on the furniture. The silence was broken only by the occasional scuttling of rats. Then, one day, a young couple viewed the apartment. They were charmed by the spacious rooms and the low rent. The landlord, his face etched with a mixture of guilt and fear, remained silent about the apartment's dark past. Within days, the couple moved in, full of hope and excitement for their future. They were oblivious to the horrors that awaited them, oblivious to the restless spirit that haunted the apartment, oblivious to the fact that they were living on borrowed time. The phone on the nightstand stood silent, for now, but the clock was ticking. It was only a matter of time before it rang again. 3:15 a.m. The haunted call would continue.